guys don't know me, my name's Ben, or Coach Speedy, and I've just been in this game for a really long time. So today, welcome to Mobility and Flexibility Workshop, or like I like to say, Flexy and Sexy. After this workshop, you guys are going to get all the tools to help increase your range of motion and feel more comfortable in new positions. Outcomes. At the end of this, you guys are going to understand how to assess if you have a range of motion issue. 2, you're going to understand why range of motion is important. 3, the difference between mobility and flexibility. 4, the difference between passive and active range. 5, how to improve from where you currently are. And then 6, how to maintain it long term. We're going to do a wee practical breakout, and we're going to figure out if people's ankles, if it's on all of you, if it's a joint or a muscle, like a flexibility thing. Make sure the knee is tracking the center toe. Drive it as far as you can, put as much weight on it as possible. So anyone finding a joint on this side? Still? Yeah,
yeah, I look like here as well. But
yeah, you actually look like you got better range on that right side than you did on your left.
Yeah, true actually.
Cool, and relax. Right, so that's you all fall into the most common category, which is feeling the muscle, right? Which means it's a way easier job. How we learn how to deal with a joint on the ankle is the same as how we're gonna learn how to do it on every other muscle group. Cool, and then left foot in through there, and then get that left foot right up onto the top of that plate for me. Get it. Nice, cool. Take the back knee and you can kind of drop it down to the floor. And then you're just gonna drive that knee over the toe as front as you can. And then we're gonna hang out for about a minute, and you're gonna play in all the good, bad, and ugly positions in that joint. All that is like beginner level joint like manipulation or mobilization or whatever you wanna call it. All you're doing is starting to create a little bit of space in the joints so that your wrists or your ankles or your knee or whatever it is can go through a larger range of motion. So all we're doing here is just creating a little bit of space. All the band is doing is helping glide a particular bone called the talus, don't need to remember that, but glide it back and out of the way so the joint has more space to go through that flexion. That's all the band is doing. The elevation, so the band tapers back and down, that's just because it's the angle of the bone. But the assessment protocol is first we're going to create some range in that joint. Now that the joint is a little bit warmed up, we want to smash the large muscle groups that articulate or cross or act upon that ankle, right? You don't need to know the muscle groups. I think everyone can just point to them, right? So what muscle groups would affect your ankle? Tib, yeah. Tib on the front, the shit on the back, calf, soleus, yeah. Now we get this little bastard ball out. Pop your left shoe off. So stand on the ball on your left foot, roll it round. All you're gonna do is put a little bit of pressure on there. And again, you go for about 30 seconds to a minute, just enough to create some blood flow in there, but not enough to create inflammation. A nice way to do this is like a golf ball when you're sitting on the edge of your couch in your lounge. Yeah, it's a really good one. That is on the south side of the joint. Now we wanna go on the north side of the joint. So now we're gonna do your calf. So sit on the ground for me, right?
I'm just rolling this. And
then, yep, place that underneath your calf, and then you're just gonna smash that up. Good, bad, and ugly bits so you can hit your soleus and your gastroc or everything behind the shin. Cool, awesome. Okay, next one, while you're sitting there, just grab the ball. All right, you're gonna cup the ball in your hand, place it on your tib, so off the bone, right, on the muscle. Okay. Yep, and then relax your foot, right, and then you can, start at the bottom, and then you're gonna compress into that muscle, and then you just work it all the way up the shin. It feels shit. Right? Yeah, you don't have to like put on a brave face. It does feel absolutely terrible. We created some space in the joint. We smashed the muscle groups, north, south. So we mobilized it, we smashed it. Now we want to go stretch those major muscle groups. When it comes to stretching, if you feel it stretch in the right muscle group, then that is the right stretch for you, right? So for the muscles on the bottom of your feet, super simple. You can sit on your toes. Cool, so get your butt down to your heel. Right, do you feel a stretch along the plantar fascia there? You get a stretch there? Yeah, cool. Pop your shoe back on, and now we're going to the next, and the shoe on the left foot. And now we'll start to stretch the calf. Now, unfortunately with the calves, you know the tendon, the calf, is the bottom of the calf attaches to your ankle, Achilles. Anyone know the actual name of it?
Is that the right name?
No, it's not. It's calcaneus tendon, but that's all right. Yeah, so everyone knows it as the Achilles because old mate got shot through it, right? But it's the strongest tendon in the body, and it is a bitch to stretch. So come over here. So it needs a lot of load. So those little like TheraBands and shit on the ground ain't enough. So get into here. What foot are we? Your left foot. You can swap sides.
Okay.
Yep. So everyone can see the outside leg. So get that toe as high as you can, and then bring your hips towards the pole.
Okay.
Cool. And then squeeze your left butt cheek. Nice. And then last one. So the finishing one is I always like to stretch into the position that we want to do. So come to the side of the box, and then you're going to get into side on like that. Get that foot up, drive that knee right over the toe. So we're going maxi dorsiflexion, get that knee right over the toe, and push, push, push. And do we start to feel a stretch through the back of here? Mm-hmm. Cool. Whereas before we felt a blockage in the joint.
Oh yes, true.
Yeah, nice, awesome. And then we'd hang out there, because now we're taking it through its absolute maximal range. Cool. Right, now let's do the hip. So for the hip, we're gonna skip stage 1, stage 2, and I'm just going to show you guys the effectiveness of stretching the major muscle groups that go around the hip. So now we need to figure out some sort of stretches and we're going to use the bands today because we're going to get both a stretch and a joint mobilization in one. First position, we'll start with the hammies. You get everyone come around the sides. So you're going to get the band as high as you can up your thigh, right? Walk it out as far as you can. Pray to God that it doesn't snap, right? Lock that leg out, and then you're just going to bend over and hang out, right? And you're just going to move around whatever movement pattern that you feel the stretch best. It might feel a little nervy. After that one, we're going to lower the band down to knee height. We're going to take it all the way out. We're going to drop down to a big lunge, right? We're going to push that knee in as far as it can go. Some people might be quite limited here. Then we're going to use our glute to pull the knee out as far as we can. And we're going to repeat that process for a little bit. And then if you guys come this side now, because I'm going to spin around. The last one, again, we're going to get as high up the butt as we can. We're going to drop down to a lunge. We tuck the hips under, reach up and over, and then smash up all the quad and the hip flexor and all that good stuff in there. Get yourself in a nice thick band. I'll try to do the entire class at the same time. 2 people can go on one pole. Right. Just like Casey's back in the day for old people. So everyone walk away as far as you can. Lock out the leg that the band is working on, and then bend over and hang out. That's it. Nice. And just rotate left and right, guys. So you get all those good, bad, and ugly positions. You might find it fires a little bit more in one area than the other. And stand up. Turn side onto the pole, so the band is around the leg. The leg closest to the pole is the one the band is on. And sorry, lower the band down to about knee height. The knee the band is not around goes to the ground. Now, get that back, the knee that's on the ground, get it way behind the height of the hip. Way behind the hip. Cool. Place both hands on the ground inside the knee that the band is on. Already you'll probably feel a little bit of a stretch there. Nice. Now keep your foot flat on the ground, and you're going to pull your knee out as wide as you can, but keeping the foot flat on the ground. Cool. Hold for it. Pull the knee out. Out. Yes, yeah. So we're opening up at the hip. Now eyes on me, guys, real quick. Take your hand that's closest to your knee off the ground. Put it on top of your knee and push it in as far as you can. You're almost going to feel like a pinching action inside the hip. Keep the band in that leg. Turn around, face the pole. Good. Get the band as high up underneath that butt cheek as possible. And then step back and place the knee on the ground that the band is on. Yeah. The banded leg on the ground. Stick your butt out. Cool, so that's the wrong way. So tuck it all the way in. Good, or is it the right way? Right, tuck it right under. You already feel a little bit of a stretch. And then reach up and over with the same arm that the band is on. Cool, and you should feel that strip right through the front of your hip flexors. Even a little bit into something called your psoas, inside your stomach. Awesome. And relax, guys. Peel out of there. So jump out of the band, come back to the middle of the room, right? And again, that was a very, very short, brief version. Go back to that squatting stance and just sit into like 5 more squats. Ask yourself, better, same, or worse? Does that hip joint feel a little bit more freer than the other hip? What do you guys think the next joint is that everyone always has issues with? Shoulders, right? Cool, that used to be like my shoulders, they were shockers. So shoulder, what type of joint is it? Ball and socket. It's literally, we're basically going to treat it exactly like the hip. Everyone go grab yourself a ball. Right. We're going to start with the pec. So place it on the sides of the rig because the front has too many holes. Jam that into your pec, right? And then you just take that through a range of motion, right? All I'm doing is smashing up that muscle, the bigger one, that kind of blocks that joint from moving well. Talked about is your lats, right? Come away from the rig. We do this one on the ground. This one sucks. Yeah, if your lats are really tight, it really hurts. If they're not tight at all, it just hurts a lot. Tuck it under the armpit and kind of lie under the armpit or sort of back of the shoulder, right? Right in that t-shirt crease. Place your hand in a position like if you're ready to do like a dumbbell shoulder press. That's it. And then as you roll, as I press, I'm also gonna roll the ball underneath the armpit at the top of the lat. And I can already see some of your faces because remember the lat attaches on the upper arm, right? And it is freaking torturous, it sucks. So now the trap, this is probably another, can be quite sore, but it's quite a nice one. You're gonna take the ball, lie on your back, tuck it underneath the trap or like your neck muscles, right? The arm that I'm working is just gonna go straight up. Take a big deep breath in, exhale, and just let it kind of reach towards the floor. Smash into that muscle group. Tuck your feet in so you can have a bit more control. If you lift your hips up, you're gonna put a lot more weight on it. And you just take your arm up and down 20, 30 times through a bit of range, smashing up that trap that blocks the shoulder. And following that same protocol with the band, pop this guy around the rig, shoot that arm through it, right? Get it nice around that joint, just like we did with the hip. Tuck the hand behind the back, right? I call this the banded bully, so, because it's like bully arm behind your back. And you're just gonna lean away, let that shoulder drop back into the socket, just like it did with the hip. You're gonna probably feel more range doing this in your shoulder. And you're just gonna work around into those areas, explore that range, take your arm out of the band, and retest. In terms of implementation, time spent on doing the mobility thing, how long, say per week, do you guys think would be the best sort of protocol to improve your range of motion? Here's how I kind of approached it. I do it this way with almost all my clients. If I was to learn a skill like juggling, or if anyone was to practice juggling, do you think you'd get better by practicing 1 hour once a week or 10 minutes every day? 10 minutes every day, right? So those little sort of micro doses is what's going, the brain is still gonna learn, hey, she wants me to be more flexible, right? I better start being more flexible and it will get really used to it. But like a 1 hour session on it once a week, repeated the following week, you're probably not gonna see much improvement, it'll be really slow, right? I would say everyone has a whole list of mobility issues that probably need improvement. Triage that list, just like Brad, our doctor who's run out the door, does, and then start at the top with the thing that is going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. Awesome. Remember, flexi is sexy, right? Yeah. In and out of the bedroom.